These are the joys and sorrows of our hearts, some of them, and I will take them into my prayers this week as I pray, meditate for all that is our life.
Is it not wonderful to be here this morning? I will tell you, sitting up here and hearing you all sing, and when our heart is in a holy place, is one of the most moving hymns for me, and hearing you sing it so well, I just loved it. So how many of you are jazz fans? Show of hands. Oh, lots of you. So I have loved playing jazz, oddly enough, mostly on the accordion, since I was about 10 years old in Coney Island. Now, the magic of jazz, both for the performers and for the audience, is the coming together of multiple voices, melodies, harmonies, rhythms, improvisations, all within a context of balancing freedom and structure. Now, the great thing about the accordion is that you can do it all yourself. You can be a one-person band, you can do the bass, the chords, the melody, the solos, the harmony, the discord, all of it by yourself. And I've done that. But of course, jazz, like so many things, is better, much better, when we're together. And jazz is something like Unitarian Universalism, isn't it? We have multiple voices coming together, sometimes but not always to blend, sometimes in disharmony, yet always to remain both distinct and together in community. What does it take to make that happen? In jazz, it requires a commitment to a shared structure and a vision for the tune we're playing and the group we're part of. We have to know why we're playing, what we're trying to say, and how in general the parts fit together. We want some but not too much structure, so free solos are possible, but the solos are constrained by the group's commitment to the plan and to the structure of the piece and to the group vision. Each musician develops and deepens their sense of the music as they play together, and the whole gets better and better. We Unitarian Universalists come together around a set of shared values and principles, and we build faith communities like this one, much like jazz ensembles, to promote our individual and communal growth and our service to the world, making the music of love and justice and faith development and welcoming and working for a better world for all. You are developing such a structure here at West Shore. Your new organization, which Rachel and I learned about over the weekend, helps bring people together, promotes coordination, and empowers each group to pursue its mission within needed constraints. Just like the best jazz, you will make beautiful and challenging music through this structure, I have no doubt. Now, I'm blessed to be able to play with a UU jazz ensemble in Alexandria, Virginia. My spirit soars every time we play together, and my jazz playing deepens with this group. Now, there are other elements of my Unitarian Universalist life that draw my passion as well. I'm an owl teacher, a social justice devotee, and I'm fiercely dedicated to widening the circle of Unitarian Universalism in as many ways as possible. And I'm called to strengthen stewardship to support all of that and everything else that we UUs do. You knew I would get to stewardship at some point. Now, stewardship in our congregations is many things. It is about taking care of what is most important to us, being responsible stewards of our congregations. It is about bringing people together and welcoming all of our gifts, not just our money. It is about inspiring and deepening the generosity of each of us to be the engine of our mission-driven programs. Being a steward, and we all are stewards, is a sacred responsibility. Now we, and again all of us, are called to care for our beloved congregations for this moment in time. We are called to bring our gifts, all of our gifts, our very selves, to the stewardship project, filling up the stone soup bowl, as it were. And stewardship is much more than raising money. Stewardship taps into a deep well of human and UU generosity, which is spiritually enriching, spiritually energizing. There's power there. Stewardship deepens our connections, our covenant with one another. After 15 years of consulting with Unitarian Universalist congregations, I can say that stewardship has become my ministry. Now, our churches are different from other organizations that we support, and our stewardship is different to follow. And part of the difference is that you are it. There is no one but us to care for our congregations and to make sure that the 75-year legacy of West Shore UU will continue far into the future. Our churches are also different because they thrive based on the covenants that we make to one another and to our congregation and to this faith. Now, it has been wonderful to be with you this weekend. I came away from all the meetings I had Friday evening and yesterday totally jazzed. I heard moving stories about lives transformed and people lovingly supported here. I felt blessed to be with you in the beautiful spaces that you have, none more so than this morning. I was impressed with your energy and the breadth and depth of the programs and activities you have here. My own UU faith and commitment were deepened by spending time with you. This is your community, your family. You have so much to be proud of. Now, over the next few weeks, you'll be launching this year's annual pledge drive to support all that you do and hope to do. Now, from what I saw this weekend, you are poised for greatness, building on the success of the past 2 years. What would it take for all of you to come together in joyous celebration with your gifts to sustain and grow the mission work of this beloved community? What could you do with the money that you would pour in if each of you pledged at a level that makes you feel good, that makes you proud? My hope for you is that you think of this campaign as a way to deepen your engagement with one another, that you see stewardship as a vehicle for sharing your dreams and your gifts, deepening your personal and communal generosity. Now, we would like all of you to have a chance to offer early input to the campaign today. Help create a theme and inspiring goals and messages, taking the first step and widening the circle of engagement with the process. So to start things off, you might have wondered why you have these index cards. Now you're going to find out. To start things off, I'd like to invite you to take a minute or two right now during the service and jot down a short phrase, no more than 3 to 5 words, keywords, that captures the essence of your dreams for this church, particularly for the coming year. What are your dreams and hopes? What are your grandest dreams and hopes? And as you leave the sanctuary, you'll find baskets to drop your cards. And of course, we want to hear from folks online as well. Please put your responses in the chat, and we'll take a look at all of it and see where it takes us. Now look around and think of the abundance you have here. The facilities, your leaders, your staff, your financial resources, and most important, all of you. Well, stewardship is the engine that sustains all of this abundance. Stewardship enables us to bring our loving and hopeful and life-saving message into the world and deeper into our lives. It enables us to focus our resources and to promote this faith and this congregation we love now and for generations to come. So share your sweetest dreams for the next year and beyond, and infuse this campaign with all of your collective energy and your financial resources to make your dreams come true. And please join us after the service for Rachel's presentation, followed by lunch.
Do you know how it is sometimes you hear a piece of music and at the end you just close your eyes and go, yeah, thank you. That was lovely. So let's go back 2,000 years ago. The Christian scriptures tell the story of a time when Rabbi Jesus tried to take a little time off from his ministry and retreated with his disciples to a site near the Sea of Galilee. But Jesus was beloved and supremely fascinating, so people couldn't stay away. They ran ahead of them on foot. 5,000 people were waiting when Jesus and his disciples finally got there. And Rabbi Jesus, despite his fatigue, could not ignore them. Compassion welled up in his magnificent heart. He began teaching them. He began healing them. And it was hours later when his disciples came to him saying, Rabbi, look, it is getting late. It is time for dinner. You need to send these people away into the surrounding villages so that they can get something to eat. But Jesus was mission-minded. Love to God and love to people was his way. So he said to his disciples, you give them something to eat. Jesus was always challenging them to do stuff that they didn't think was possible, challenging them to always be more than they thought they could be. Thus their reply, which they blurted out, you want us to go buy bread for 5,000 people? Are you out of your ever-loving mind? Now, that's in between the lines of Scripture. I just want to say, all right? Are you out of your ever-loving mind? That would cost us a fortune, and last we checked, we're poor. This happened 2,000 years ago, according to the Bible. But isn't this the sort of thing that happens all the time in our religious communities? Even a church like ours, which is a unique church, which honors the spiritual leadership of Jesus while honoring the spiritual leadership of the Buddha, Muhammad, Lao Tzu, other saints and sages from around the world from all times. Despite the differences among these saints and sages, they are on the same page when it comes to the primacy of compassion. They are on the same page when it comes to the primacy of generosity. The hungers of our world, they are great. The needs for justice, the needs for healing, the needs for spiritual illumination and hope. Jesus challenges his disciples, you give them something to eat. And we today face that same challenge from our Unitarian Universalist principles and from our West Shore Church mission. And maybe as a church, we respond just like the disciples. You want us to do it? Are you out of your ever-living mind? We're poor. But listen to what Jesus said. No. You're misunderstanding me, he says. How many loaves of bread do you already have in hand? So the disciples checked, and altogether they had 5 small loaves of bread and 2 fish. When Jesus heard this, he immediately turned to the crowd of 5,000 people and said something which simply stunned his disciples. He said in a loud voice, everybody, it is time to eat. We have more than enough to go around, he said. Please sit down and get ready, he said. And the people did, in groups of hundreds and 50s. And taking the 5 loaves and 2 fish, he looked up to heaven, he blessed that meal, he broke those loaves, he divided the fish, and he gave them to his disciples so his disciples could set them before the people, which they proceeded to do. 5 loaves, 2 fish. Though the disciples could not help but feel that their fearless leader had just gone nuts. Okay? No sane person could possibly believe that 5 loaves and 2 fish would be enough to feed 5,000 people. But such is the difference between the mousy heart, and the heart that is magnificent. The magnificent heart looks at a situation of apparent scarcity. The magnificent heart looks at a situation of apparent scarcity square in the eye, and says, I don't believe it. The magnificent heart challenges the people around them not to believe it either, and to step up, to step out in faith. The magnificent heart, the heart of Rabbi Jesus, and I will say, the heart of our Unitarian Universalist values, the heart of our church mission here at West Shore, satisfied with nothing less but a miracle. Nothing less than a miracle. But to this I hasten to add, not the wrong kind of miracle, not the wrong kind, not the supernatural kind, not the out of thin air kind, not the someone else will do it kind, not the sugar daddy or the sugar mama going to come and save us kind, not the lottery will come and save us kind either. Not the wrong kind of miracle. The magnificent heart expects a miracle, but not the wrong kind. Essentially what Jesus did was put a big ask out there to those 5,000 people. And now it was time for these people to respond. And I wonder how long it took. I wonder how long it took for those people there at the side of the Sea of Galilee 2,000 years ago to get what Jesus was really trying to teach. I wonder how long it took them to stop expecting the wrong kind of miracle to happen, that someone else needs to come in and save us kind, and to start doing their part to help make that right kind of miracle to happen. The first person who got what Jesus was really trying to teach did this. This is what they did. They approached the place where the disciples had put the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. That person, they reached into their satchel and they pulled out a part of what they already had. Maybe some bread, maybe a vegetable, maybe something else. He chipped in. That's what he did. How long did it take that first person? And then the second, and then the third, until this abundance vision that Jesus was really teaching caught like wildfire. Suddenly it is a scene out of stone soup. Food flying out of people's kitchens faster than you can blink, all leading to a communal feast. Everyone chipping in generously until it is a done deal. Things starting with only 5 loaves and 2 fish, yes, but despite the seeming adversity of that situation, ending with enough for all, more than enough. I want this abundance miracle for West Shore. Our spiritual principles want it. Our church mission wants it. Our history, our 75 years of history wants it of us today and the future, for all of us here and for everyone who can be moved by a community like this. Do you want this? Do you want this? Oh, that's not enough folks responding. Do you want this? At one point in yesterday's stewardship workshop, Barry and Rachel asked a group of around 40 of us, they asked, think of a time when something good happened to you here at West Shore. So each of us spent a few moments remembering. And then they asked, what is special at West Shore that enabled that good thing to happen? And here's what some folks had to say. A spirit of welcome, emotional support, openness to diversity, acceptance, love, listening, permission to be imperfect, devotion to social issues, commitment, friendship, beloved community, sense of humor. My contribution, was to mention something about an angel whose identity I do not know, who visits my mail slot in the office every month and leaves me a pair of funny socks. Right there. Whoever you are, my angel, whoever you are, you have no idea how good that makes me feel. I feel loved and seen. I wear these socks religiously. But do you see how what is special at West Shore that enables all of these good things to happen, it ultimately boils down to generosity. A generosity of welcome, a generosity of emotional support, generosity of openness, generosity of humor, generosity of on and on and on, including generosity of financial giving, without which this community simply could not exist. Miracles can take place here when everyone finds a way to chip in. And if we don't, if we are counting on the wrong kind of miracle, the supernatural kind of miracle, the out of thin air kind of miracle, the someone else is going to do it miracle, the sugar daddy or sugar mama got to come and save us kind of miracle, or the lottery, we got to win the lottery, that's going to come and save us kind of miracle. Well, if that's what we're expecting, well, you know what? We will begin with 5 loaves and 2 fish, and you know what? We're going to end up with 5 loaves and 2 fish, and that is all. The 5,000 go hungry. 5,000 lives unchanged. 5,000 people who will never know a real kind of miracle that really could happen. And who wants to be a part of that? Do you want to be a part of that? That's lame. That is lame. We are called to be so much more as a leader congregation in this world. We are called to magnificence. We who are a part of the 5,000. Our children, our children's children, folks hungering for what we got right now and in the future, they're you, but they don't even know it yet. They're hungering for what we have. The 5,000 need this miracle. So, let our hearts be magnificent. Let the miracle happen for us. When you are asked to give, say yes. When we all step up in our giving, the sky really is the limit. Find out how you can be a part of this generosity miracle. It will change your life. I promise you, it will change the lives of other people. In this giving and receiving, is the meaning of life. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
Amen, Anthony.
Let us say our extinguishing the chalice words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry with us until we meet again. We're going to sing our last hymn in a moment, but just a reminder, after the service, please be back here in the sanctuary like at 11:30, no later than that, for a 30-minute presentation from our stewardship consultants, followed by lunch and a Q&A in Baker Hall. So please join us for that. Let's sing now. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way. on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. Now, if you are here for the first time and you are immersed in these messages about generosity and money, you're like, oh my God, that's church. Church is going at it again. But I don't want you to leave this space confused, because what I hope you saw today was our heart. We want to bring people into a miracle, and that miracle can't happen unless each person finds their way of giving. And they got to work through shame and work through blame, because, you know, the world tells us we have to give in certain ways. The world sets up expectations about like how we're supposed to be, and if we can't be that way, we end up feeling full of shame or we feel blame. No, each of us, we got to give from deep inside in a way that feels good. And if we can do that, if each of us can do that, and if you're here for the first time, if you can be a part of this, the miracle happens, and we will never forget, and it will change our lives and the lives of so many people. That is what this place is about. That is the heart of this place. May you go from this place. May you go from this place today. Take that vision with you. Take that vision with you, because the world needs that vision. And that's why we exist. We've got to have a starting place where that miracle can bloom and grow, be seeded and happen. Let's all find a way to be a part of it. Go in peace. Let's listen to the postlude.